Hi Flosstube, this is take 2 for me. You're only seeing this as take 1, but it's take 2 for me. There are some perks to that, but I filmed the first video in another app and it filmed the whole thing sideways, and I noticed that when I was filming, but I thought I'd be able to turn it. I was not able to. So we're doing this again. Show notes are here and present, and I am actually going to flip some things around in this video as well. So I know a lot of you are here for the progress on everything, so we will start with WIPs. The first video I started with Fangirl, but we'll start with WIPs. I'm going to start with the same project I started with the first time, which y'all didn't see, so y'all wouldn't know, which is Plus Ultra. I will post a picture here, and then a progress picture here. And I'm going to leave that progress picture up for a little bit so that y'all can actually see that I made progress. It doesn't look like much, and in my mind, it really isn't much. It's about 125 stitches. I know that with the owls coming up, people were expected to do like 200 stitches a night. Oh my god, y'all. At least that's what it sounded like to me. But, so, and I'm thinking about joining that, by the way. I don't know. Coffee Stitcher's talking me into it. That's right. You heard correctly. Coffee Stitcher and I communicate, like, on a regular basis with each other. It's kind of nice. He holds me stitchably accountable. So, there's that. I had the pictures up so that you could see that. And then the second project, because, you know, I only have 2 projects. Nothing special. Is the Theresa Winslet, the Unicorn project. I have worked on this one. I want to say I worked on this one a little bit more this week than Plus Ultra, but I don't think I did. I think I actually did less stitches. However, there are more color changes in this one currently, and, you know, blended threads. So here's that. I will have the before up here so that you can actually do a comparison, and there will be a comparison portion, or, you know, there is a slight difference. There's more colors, color changes. I love the way the colors are popping on this fabric. And with this project, I learned something new, and I tried something new. So I'll go over it again in my Fangirl. But I learned how to do the pin stitch. And because these are blended threads, you can't use the loop start on them, and so what I was doing was I was going behind multiple threads, and because I'm obsessive compulsive, I do it like 2 or 3 times. The back of this project kind of looks like a corset being bound because of the number of, like, cross wraps that I do. I'm going to call it a cross wrap. I don't know that that's what it's called, but I'm going to call it a cross wrap. I keep looking at the project. I'm going to hold it up again. So, because of all the cross wraps, and, you know, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Like, right there, you see how I go across the threads, right there. Like, I go under a couple, and then I wrap it a couple of times because I really want it secure. So, and I do that with starting and stopping. So, I started with the pin stitch, and I really, really like it. It doesn't take very much. You do have to work at making it sure it's secure, and I do. I test it. And then you can also end with the pin stitch, and I've ended a couple of times with the pin stitch. I don't know how I feel about that yet. So, if you've watched my previous video, stopping is something I'm obsessive compulsive about, because when I go to wash my piece, I don't want my threads coming out because I will cry. If it ever happens, I will film the video of me crying so that y'all know it's true. But if it ever happens, I will cry, because I then have to go find the place in the pattern that has come undone and restitch it, as well as trying to secure the threads properly. So I did end a couple of sections with pin stitches, and I don't know. I'm worried that they're not secure. As a matter of fact, I do one extra stitch. So I come up through the middle, go over one, come up through the middle, go over one, and then come up through the middle and go back over. And let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it on the project so that maybe y'all will get what I'm talking about. But if you do it right, you can't see it. And I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm kind of going cross-eyed while this is going on. I can't find it, so I did it right, y'all. That's the good news. But, so, I'm doing this 2/2. So, when you do the pin stitch, you would come up in the middle hole, go over one thread and go down, and then come back through the middle hole, go over one, go down, and then come back up and cut it flush with the fabric. However, what I do is I do one extra stitch, I come up and then go down again and then come back up. And I was stitching the other day and I did the pin stitch, and the next stitch I was working on was right next to that pin stitch, and when I went up, some of the thread came loose, and it was just a small amount, and it was that last secure stitch I did. So the pin stitch in its entirety should still be there. That was like my extra security measure. So my extra security measure came in handy. But because of that, and because I saw it and I noticed it, sorry, I just ate lunch, y'all. I'm terrified. I'm really worried about it not staying in. However, I'm going to stick with it for a little bit. I'm going to stick with it and see if I get burned. If I get burned, y'all will be the first to know. So there are the two current WIPs. Now, next, I'm going to go into a UFO that may be coming out of the corner. So, if you watched my first video, you will remember I talked about this lovely piece. It's really funny because it's cloudy here, but, you know, that little bit of light washes this whole thing out. So, this piece is the Town Square Afghan. It was featured in Country Stitch magazine, the 1992 issues. It went from January, February 1991 to January, February 1992. And my mom started this for my dad. When I finish it, I will not be giving it to my dad. There's history there. So anyway, I will be keeping this, but so my mom carried this fabric around for a really long time, and then I carried this fabric around for a really long time. And my problem with completing this is, number one, it's massive. Number two, my mom, and all of the moves that we made, lost the patterns. I mean, like, lost the patterns. So for a while I had 2 magazines, and then I pulled a mom and lost a pattern. And so, oh look, there's a needle in here, y'all. I was wondering if that's what that was, and it is. So, I'm going to stick the needle back through the front. So, I'm going to show y'all how massive this thing is, because it's big. Like, y'all just seen a small portion of it, and it's like a lap-size Afghan. But anyway, so I haven't been willing to work on this. So I do sit on the floor when I film, and now I'm going to have to project. But now you can see just how big this piece of fabric is. And each one of the big squares, each one of these squares is supposed to be a building or a set of buildings. And then in the center is the town square, where the name comes from, the Town Square Afghan. So, I mean, as you can see, it's massive, and we have 1 square started. But these are my church clothes, so I look kind of cute right now. But, so, I was afraid to work on this project because I didn't have the rest of the patterns. And why work on something that you can't complete? Because that's just frustrating, right? I have seen and watched the Stitchy Kindness through Flosstube now for about 2 months. Because that's how long I've been watching, 2 months. And I always thought it was so amazing that this community came together like that. And as people of faith, love is what we're supposed to show each other. We're supposed to show each other that love and that kindness. And, you know, it doesn't matter what religion you are, you're supposed to, from what I understand, in every religion that I've come across, you are supposed to respect your community, or show love to all. If your religion's promoting harm to others, you are probably a very angry person, and you should stop. So, it's amazing to see the community come together in that way. So, I mentioned that in my first video, and somebody contacted me and told me that they had the magazines and asked me if I wanted them. I'm just going to call her Jade. And I told her yes. And she sent me not one, but 4 of the 6 magazines I needed for the project. The last 2 are on order from eBay. But, I mean, honestly, y'all, 4 magazines. And this is going to be hours of stitchy happiness, of stitchy bliss. She even wrote me a little note. Hi, Robert. Welcome to Flosstube. It's a great community. Enjoy, Jade. And she's not lying when she says that it is an amazing community. It are a great community. Her word was great, but I'm upgrading it to amazing. Like, this is never something I expected. I didn't start this channel to get things from the stitching community. I started this channel to share the love that people were sharing with me. I wanted to be able to share that love with the community that had brought this joy back into my life. And so, thank you, Jade. However, that's not all she sent me. She heard about my love of Theresa Winslet, and she asked me if I wanted one of 2 patterns. And I already had a copy of one of them. So, I chose this one. It's another Theresa Winslet, the fantasy sampler. And it's going to be backwards because, you know, it's got to be backwards on my camera. But look at this. Look at how cute. It's got a dragon. A little dragon. And a little woman playing what looks like a clarinet, might be an oboe, probably labeled a flute. But my favorite part, and the whole reason that I really, really wanted this chart, was the lion. I'm a Leo, y'all. It's my birthday. Tomorrow. I'll be 31. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. So, there's the lion. I love the Pegasus, but unicorn, right? And the griffin. These griffin. Super cute. I'm in love with this pattern. You know, it's Theresa Winslet, so I'll show you the color chart. Blended threads. And honestly, there aren't as many blended threads in this one as there are on my other ones. And to prove it, I will show you that floss chart. This is the floss chart for the unicorn. I don't know if you know this, but only like 3 or 4 of those symbols are one color. The other day, I was stitching on this and I found a symbol. Let's see if I can figure out which one it was. I don't know that that was a symbol. We'll say it was a symbol. It was the Y. And it was one color. I could do a loop start. I was super excited. I really did get excited about that one color. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do a loop start. This is gonna be so easy. Yes! And I really quickly stitched all those, and then there aren't very many of them because that's the color used for a leaf. And so I was super sad when it was over. But the pin stitch has been helping me start that project with those open-ended threads. So if you want to learn about what I'm talking about in the pin stitch, there are 2 videos. I'm going to go ahead and shout them out now. Mischievous Stitches. I wrote Stitcher, so I'm assuming it's Mischievous Stitcher. I love her channel, and I'm so happy I found her. I watched her pin stitch video and am in love, and have gone back and watched some of her other videos. She does do a few tutorials, not very many, but a few. And her floss tube, like, she's super happy, super sweet. Her son does her floss tubes with her, sometimes, occasionally. But that was just amazing. And then Carolyn Mazio, also, I watched her pin stitch video, and she goes over doing pin stitch on Ada as well. Mischievous Stitcher talks about doing it on linen, which is what I'm doing it on. But Carolyn Mazio, I hope I'm not butchering your name. If you are, feel free to, like, call me mean names in the comment. I will totally get it. But she went over doing it with Ada and talked about doing it on linen as well. So that was really helpful. As a matter of fact, and she stitched examples of 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, and 4/2 on Ada using the pin stitch, and showed how she ended with the pin stitch. And then she also did 1/1, 2/2, and 1/2, 2/2, 3/2 on linen with the pin stitch. Like, she had done them and had examples. I was super impressed, y'all. So go and check those out if you want to learn about the pin stitch and starting that way. They were great videos, super educational. I loved both of them, so I knew I had to shout them out. You know, you're not a YouTuber if you don't have floss just everywhere. And I believe that's the Theresa Winslet color. I always laugh when people are like, oh, I know what project this came from, because I'm like, how do you know that that's what, out of all the projects you have, it could have come out of, no, you really do know what projects those colors come out of. I can now attest to that. So, there's WIPs, Stitchy Kindness, and once again, Jade, thank you so very much for sending that to me. And it came from another country, y'all, so I'm not going to say where, but she had to ship it to the United States, and I'm sure that cost her more money. And so she has a gift coming. It hasn't been mailed yet, but as a matter of fact, it hasn't even been made yet, but she has a gift coming. And it was funny because I sent her an email and I was like, can I thank you on YouTube? And she's like, yeah, I mean, you can. You really don't have to. Like, that's not why I did it. And I know that's not why you did it, but this act of stitching kindness, like, has blown me away. And apparently I have something else coming. Someone else has told me that they have sent me something. Y'all will see it when it gets here. It has not gotten here yet. Once again, it's coming from another country. I think it's awesome that I'm getting... My aunt the other day was like, you get more mail than I do. And I've lived here longer. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. Can't help it that they love me. But that one is coming from New Zealand. So if you've watched other videos, you probably know who it's coming from. But I'm going to send her the shout out when I get it. So, and I don't know what it is. I have an idea, but I'm not going to presume anything. So, there is Stitchy Kindness. Now, the moment y'all have all been waiting for. Well, at least the people who voted. The votes have been tallied. And you will notice that there are two sets of tally marks. There are these tally marks and these tally marks. These are the tally marks. As I got comments, I went back. You will notice if you left a comment, you got a love and a like. So, the love and the like let you know that I counted your tally. I actually, after I post this on YouTube, have to go stop those comments because I'm sure people will still be voting. And it's like, okay, votes are in, y'all. Votes are in. So, you will notice I double-checked. And welcoming to my new WIP Stitchy family, the one, the only, taking it out of the bag so that there is no glare. Ta-da! The Tudor Rose. Tudor Rose stained glass number 452. And I'm reading that backwards in my screen, y'all, just so y'all know. This pattern is being done for a friend. Yes, she voted, and yes, she voted for this pattern, y'all. She's actually the one who purchased it. So, this is a beautiful Tudor Rose stained glass chart. Well, cross stitch. The chart calls for 14 count using anchor threads. More on that later. And the chart was created by Flower Power, capital F in flower, capital P in power, all one word, 37 -UK. She gives contact information. I will throw that contact information in. We found this on eBay. So you can go on eBay and you should be able to type Tudor Rose stained glass number 452 and it should come up. And it's why not use _37 at live.co.uk or direct via eBay. I will see if I can find eBay information and put that in the description so that y'all have a direct link to that. However, so this is going to be the next project I work on. I want to dye my own fabric for this, or at least try to. I don't know how that's going to work. I kind of want to do this either on a stone gray color, a wood brown color, or I was thinking of doing like a royal color, like royal purple. Purple, for all you who don't know, and blues were expensive colors to own, so at one point they were only worn by royals. I do know that much in my history of colors. But, so, and I really think that those colors would make this pop. However, I don't know if this is like, it almost looks like this is a full coverage piece, but I don't know that it is. I really don't know. And, can I look at the chart? Here. Look at the chart. No, it is not a full coverage piece. I can tell you that. And it looks like the white may actually be stitched. Yeah, it looks like the lighter color is stitched, which means that if I did that on a purple, some of that would really, really pop. Like, it would be beautiful. And I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, this not being white. This is a white color. It's stitched white. So, I say it's not full coverage. What I mean is that this area here is not stitched. Just the pattern. Just the center motif. So, if I did this on a purple and framed it in a square frame, I think that these colors would just pop that much more. Apparently, I really like purple. But purple is a royal color, and so that's what I want to do it in. Now, it is charted for anchor. However, I absolutely love the person who did this chart, and if you order this chart, please do me a favor, tag my video, and just, I want them to know how much I love this chart, and I will be sending them a review. But it's a super pretty pattern. But they send you the Anchor to DMC floss conversion chart with it. I've never used Anchor. I don't want to start using Anchor now. I use DMC because I know where I can get it. This chart is going to be a lifesaver, y'all. A lifesaver. At some point, I need to get the DMC color chart, and I probably need to get the Anchor color chart too, just in case this ever happens again. But now I have that conversion chart, and that is really going to be a lifesaver, and I cannot sing the praises of the person who bagged this up for making sure that was in there. Sorry, catching my throat. So, the new pattern I will be working on, and that is y'all's votes. Just to go over, so the Tudor Rose had 13 votes, the Dimple pattern had 7 votes, the Legend of Dragon had 10 votes, The dragon, which I really thought was going to get more of the votes, only had 1 vote. But I believe that everybody was like, oh, he already has one Theresa Winslet. We aren't going to do that to him again. The castle didn't get any votes. Dreamscape, another one that I thought was going to get more votes, only got 5 votes. And the storyteller only got 1 vote. The Afghan and the castle didn't get any votes. Apparently, y'all didn't like those. I was thinking that the Afghan was going to get more votes. However, I also believe that y'all were taking pity on my soul. And, like, we're not going to make him work on a WIP that he can't complete. And thank you for that. But soon I will be able to complete it. So, and that UFO may come out of the corner when I get those last couple of magazines, which means that I will have 4 projects in the works. 4. That's a big number of WIPs. 4. I'm kind of intimidated by that number. Especially with 1 Theresa Winslet in the works. Like, that's a daunting number. And some of you are like, well, then don't do it. But I kind of want to. I got mixed emotions, y'all. Like, real mixed emotions. So, I am super excited about all of this. Oh, that's cool. I was admiring the fringe in this picture. So, this is the Afghan in its completed form, and this fringe right here is longer than the fringe on the Afghan. However, I believe they did that on purpose so that as you're stitching and the fabric is unraveling, you don't unravel something that you're stitching on. So I will try and post a picture of that completed project either here or actually with the pattern, probably more like with the pattern. So if I'm mentioning this now, like, you may have already seen it. Congratulations. However, I don't plan on doing a lot of the cuts that I did in my last video because I really didn't like that. One of them was a booger incident. Like, I had a booger in my nose and I had to blow my nose, so I did edit that out. But going back and watching the cuts, it was kind of annoying to me. So, new Stitchy family. I showed you the WIP kind, or not the WIP, the haul. I'm calling that haul too. It really does feel like haul. It really is Stitchy kindness, but, you know. So, there's that. I do have one piece of haul that is not cross-stitch related. And that is this cute bag that I got at a thrift store for, I think it was marked $5. But it's Peter Rabbit, y'all. So I have a minor obsession with Beatrix Potter. I have the movie Miss Potter, and I love it. I have read up on her life some. She was an amazing woman. But, so, cute little Peter Rabbit bag. I believe it'll be a great project bag. I think I am going to add a zipper, and because it did these decorative zigzag stitches, I believe I can put a zipper in with that same color and still have it look like it belongs, not like it was added. But that way, if I throw something in the bag like my scissors and the bag tumps over when it's in the car, I don't have to worry about double checking to make sure everything's there. And I really do think it would be easy to add a zipper. But the best part of this bag, it's not the front, it's not the inside, it's the back. Look at that little bunny tail. Boop, boop. It's super cute. So, I saw the bag and I was like, ooh, that's a cute, that would be a cute project bag. This is my other project bag, my clear project bag. You see my vitamins right there. But anyway, this is my project bag. And the thing about this bag is it holds both of my projects. So, it's big enough for that. And it has a zipper so I can secure it. This bag is more for like one project. So, I'm also one of those people that I take multiple projects almost everywhere I go in case I'm like, I don't want to work on this right now. I have something else I can work on. So there's that. This video is going by faster. The first video was 45 minutes long. This one, I'm at 29. We'll see if it ends faster. But, I'm 31, y'all. Tomorrow. I feel weird. Yeah. Anyway, so if you were just here for stitching related stuff, you can go ahead and cut off the video now. The rest is going to be life updates. So first life update, y'all, is I am so sore today. I was sore enough last night that I actually took ibuprofen PM to help me go to sleep. I'm not someone who takes pain meds for pain. I'll suffer through it, especially if it's self-imposed, like soreness from working out or something like that. I will just suffer through it. Last night, in order to sleep, I had to take something because I walked 11 and a half miles yesterday. My knees were killing me. I have a friend who is going to be walking the Camino in Spain. The Camino de Compostela, I believe is the full name. And she wanted somebody who would practice hiking with her. And I'm like, I run like 2-3 miles at a time. Like, I can totally walk 10 miles. The first 10-mile hike was okay. And we do them every Saturday. The second hike we did was 2 weeks later. And that one was only probably about 8 miles. This time, she's like, I want to walk as close to 12 miles as we can. And at 11.3 miles, she was done. And by the time we hit the car, I probably could have walked that extra half a mile to get the 12 miles in. But I was so happy that I didn't have to. I don't mind. And my knees and my hips hated me. I soaked in an Epsom salt bath last night. It was amazing. And I am totally going to admit something a little embarrassing. I watched Flosstube while I was in the bath. So my knees and my hips were hurting so much that I decided I needed to soak. And my problem with baths is I get bored. And most of the reading I do is on a Kindle, and it's not the new Kindle Paperwhite, which is waterproof. It is one of the older model Kindles that is not waterproof, and so I'm afraid to take it in the bathtub with me because I really don't want to ruin my Kindle. I would cry. And so in order to keep me entertained and in the bathtub for the 20 minutes that the soak suggests, I put on a Flosstube. I did. I'm not going to tell you who it is because people will make it awkward and go and tell her that I watched her in the bath and, you know, make it inappropriate. And it wasn't. I was just trying to stay in the bathtub because I am one of those that if I get bored, I'll get out in 5 minutes. And that is a waste of water, hot water, and Epsom salt. No, I needed to stay in for 20 minutes. I think I stayed in closer to 40. And it's thanks to that Flosstuber, and I totally enjoyed watching her. My iPad was propped up on the toilet so that it was safe away from the water. The toilet lid was closed, so, you know, I didn't have to worry about that. So, that did help. I did get out, take a ibuprofen PM, which I did not know that they made ibuprofen PM, and zonked out. I woke up. Church started at 9:30. I woke up at 9:05, y'all. Thank God for the shower and the bath yesterday because I threw on clothes, said I love you to my aunt, and ran out the door. So there's that. The Epsom salt bath was amazing. It's Dr. something, and it was the Epsom salt, pink Himalayan salt with bergamot and sweet orange, and it smelled delicious and felt great. Just saying. And my skin today is super soft and super nice. I also got Ruby back. For those of you who haven't watched my past videos, Ruby is my car. And here recently, she went to the car doctor because she decided to quit on me. She's not allowed to quit. She's a little black Prius. And so, for those of you who don't know about Priuses, there is a auxiliary battery which helps the car start and runs most of the gears, and then there is the main battery that is a large battery that sits under the passenger seat that helps propel the car. It is used with the engine to conserve gas. When you're idling, it just uses the battery instead of using the gas motor. If you're coasting, it will use the electric motor instead of the gas motor, but it charges and uncharges due to that cycling. And so there is a cooling system for that battery. I did not know this until my mechanic told me that that cooling system was what was wrong with my car. And when the cooling system on a Prius goes out, let me just tell you, y'all, your entire car will shut down while you're driving. The power brakes no longer are operating to full capacity, and the power steering just leaves you. Like, pray to God you got some good arm strength if that ever happens, because trying to turn it is a bitch. Pardon my language. So, that gets fixed, go pick up the car, drive it, and all of a sudden, like, bells and whistles are going off, let me know something's wrong. Pull up to a stoplight, stop because it's red, and they turn off. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just acclimating to this whole, maybe it and the pump aren't communicating, and they're learning their communication with each other. So, start accelerating again, lights come back on. I'm like, nope, I did not pay $950 for a broken car. So, I turn the car around and go back to the mechanic. Say, this is what's happening, these are the lights that are coming on. I had my little user manual so I could show him exactly what lights were coming on. And he gets in the car and he revs the engine and the lights come on and he's like, okay, we're gonna figure out what this is, no extra charge to you. And he did not charge me anything extra. They found out that a sensor was going out. He did not charge me for that sensor. So I have a new sensor and a new cooling system for my battery. Yay! And Ruby's happy. And I was so happy to have her back that in 105-degree weather, I went and gave her a bath. And she's a black car. And black cars in 105 sunny degree weather get really, really hot. Like, really hot. So, that was really cool. She's shiny. Well, she was shinier, but it's rained here recently. And I was driving down a road that gets lots of traffic, so she's not as shiny as she was. But she's super happy. She's running great. If you're in the Houston League City area, Luetta Automotive, like, you need to go to them. They are trustworthy. They're not going to overcharge you. They aren't looking to screw you over. Amazing people. Really do enjoy them. Beto is the manager, and he's amazing. I was also mentioned earlier that I was thinking about dyeing fabric, so I did some YouTube watching on dyeing natural fibers with RIP dye, and I'm thinking about trying to dye my own fabric. If I do, Coffee Stitcher, you're the first to get a sample. So, I'll let you know. But I looked at a couple of dyeing methods. I have some ideas about what I might want to try. We'll see how it goes. But I think that's really it. Oh, I do have 2 more things. So, and y'all will have a jump on this because all of my Stitchy people who left earlier, who didn't stay for this part of the video, are going to miss this. Once I hit 500 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. I haven't decided on what pattern I'm going to be doing, but it will be a cross-stitch pattern. It will not be a kit. It will just be a pattern. So that is once I hit 500 subscribers. So let your friends know to follow me. It will be a comment-based thing, so there is that. And so keep an eye out for 500 subscribers. Right now, I'm above 350. I don't know what I'm at quite yet, but I think I'm almost to 360. So I have a little ways to go. So this announcement will be in a couple of videos, hopefully, unless my fame just skyrockets. And I plan on doing a giveaway for every 500 subscribers that I get. So there's that. The last part is a shameless plug for my aunt. She has an eBay, Treasure Frog, all one word, Treasure Frog. Look her up on eBay. She has cross-stitch patterns for sale. There's heart and hand stuff, Lizzie Kate, there's a lavender and lace, I think it's a dream spinner. Anyway, there are some great cross-stitch patterns on there that are harder to find. You still can find them. They're a little bit harder to find, and they're at great prices. She goes and she sees what similar items are selling for, and she goes a little bit lower than that for the start off and the possible buy now. You can also wait and bid. Like, I mean, some of the stuff she starts off at like 50 cents, and it goes up due to bidders. So that's something you can do. If you want to buy it right away, you really do have to do the buy now option and pay that price. because we've been made some offers, and when we've accepted the offers, we immediately get, well, she immediately gets emails stating like, oh, why'd you take it down? I was gonna bid on that. And she was, okay, so the video cut me off, so I'm gonna make this quick and let you know that she just isn't accepting offers lower just because we've gotten some dissatisfied remarks from it. So if you want to, if the buy it now option is an option, you can buy it at that price, but we probably aren't going to accept an offer lower than that unless it's through the auctioning. So there's that. But anyway, thanks for all of the people who are watching, and thanks for all of the great comments that I've gotten. Keep stitching, y'all.